the lowdown on the whole Incredibox Sprunki situation. We've got a couple of killers in the mix. No big deal, right? Their names? Venda and some dude rocking a black hat. Oh, and Lime? The one we've been side-eyeing this whole time? Yeah, he's dead. Like, really? My guy survives losing half his face but goes down from a few scratches? Make it make sense. Compared to all the other stuff that's gone down, those were barely paper cuts. So what's this all telling us? Honestly, no clue, fam. Sure, we've been piecing this murder mystery together, but is it really as obvious as we think? The more we learn, the weirder it gets. Even the stuff that seemed clear is getting thrown into question. People we thought were alive? Turns out not so much. And the killers? We still don't know all their victims, except one, Tanner. Yeah, Venda straight up shot him. R.I.P. dude. Let's not kid ourselves. This game doesn't even have a real plot. It's basically being made up as we go. But you know what? Props to the devs, because somehow the story works. But what if, plot twist, it's all made up? Like, completely. One of the characters even says it. None of this is real. Thanks for the existential crisis, buddy. On that note, there's a mod I know that's just as wild. Actually, all the mods, including the one where Gray's the killer, seriously, if this isn't real, does any of it even matter? Forget reality. It's overrated anyway. None of this could ever happen for real, right? And yeah, maybe it's all fake. Even Mr. Happy Computer seems to know more than anyone else. He's way smarter than the rest of the Pruon crew, and unlike them, he actually talks like a normal person. Except, plot twist. Happy Computer's not so happy anymore. Now he's all, they're gone. You're next. Run, get out. So yeah, you might want to listen to him. Take a look around. What do you see? None of this is real. Run! That's the mantra on repeat from Mr. Creepy Computer. But here's the thing. His messages are all over the place. First he's saying it's all fake. Then suddenly, everyone's dead. So, which is it? Well, not everyone. Let's break it down. 1. The computer itself is still kicking. 2. The killers are obviously alive and busy. 3. Some folks are hiding like pros, untouched by the chaos. 4. And oh yeah, there are those poor souls who've turned into literal monsters. So yeah, not exactly everyone is dead. There's definitely some twisted logic at play, but it gives us something to work with. Maybe, just maybe, this is all one big nightmare. Now here's the kicker. If this is a dream, it's probably Gray's. Why? The devs confirmed that he's the main character in the nightmare version of the game. But hold up, in the bright version, Simon takes the spotlight. Does that mean anything? Not really, yet. But let's circle back to this nightmare theory. The signs are all there. Nothing feels real. There are creepy, unblinking eyes in the sky. The atmosphere? Totally off. It's impossible to tell if it's sunrise, sunset, or if we've straight up landed in some fiery underworld. And don't get me started on the distorted faces. Black Hat's got a whole "what happened to your face" vibe going on. And the monsters. Yeah, no thanks. And let's not forget how dreams love to mess with logic. You know when you're dreaming and familiar faces, friends, family, suddenly turn into something out of a horror movie? Same deal here. Dead characters act alive. Monsters pop up for no reason, and everything's just wrong. Even the computer is like, yo, this isn't real. If the computer says it's fake, it probably is. So, are we stuck in Gray's nightmare? Seems likely. That explains why this happy little group of characters somehow started tearing each other apart, and also why the weather decided to go full chaos mode. It's all just a bad dream. Or is it? What if this isn't a dream but hallucinations? Think about it. The computer keeps saying, it's not real, but they're all dead. Run. And Gray? He's giving off major, I might be losing it vibes. What if he's not dreaming but straight up tripping? Maybe he's imagining the darkness creeping in, his friends turning into monsters, and everything spiraling out of control. Whatever the case, one thing's clear. Gray's reality, or whatever you'd call it, is seriously messed up. And now, he's running headfirst into the madness, whether it's a nightmare, a hallucination, or something even worse. And then, out of nowhere, this nameless character pops up. We know him as Black, but canonically, Gray has no idea who this guy is? Makes sense. He's been hiding. So Gray wouldn't know a second killer even existed, right? But what if it's deeper than that? What if Gray doesn't know Black because Black was never real to begin with? In the regular mode, Black doesn't even show up. Put on the hat, and boom, you're whisked off into a whole different mode. So, this mysterious figure that Gray's totally unaware of, what if he's just a hallucination? And maybe, just maybe, Gray cooked up this whole story about some shadowy figure in black causing all the chaos. Convenient, huh? But if that's the case, then who's the real killer? You guessed it, Gray. That's where this is headed. Remember what Mr. Happy Computer said? None of this is real, but everyone's dead. Add to that the fact that Gray's the main character in the horror mode, and it's starting to look a little suspicious. Could it be that Gray took out everyone himself? And now, he's spiraling into madness, scared of his own shadow. But wait, what about Venda, the confirmed killer? Well, there are two possibilities. Either she really is a killer, or Gray, in his messed up mental state, imagined that someone else was responsible. After all, if he convinced himself that Venda did it, that means he doesn't have to face the horrifying truth that it was him all along. There's no denying that Venda and Gray have a lot of similarities. Coincidence? Maybe not. Although the developer has said repeatedly that there's no connection between them, Gray could have made it all up in his head. Now, he's trembling, overwhelmed by the realization of what he's done. Sure, it sounds crazy, but given the circumstances, why not? There's no fixed storyline. The developer's literally been building it on the fly. For ages now, we've been piecing together what's really happening here, and every new reveal just adds to the confusion. But let's step back for a moment. Even though Mr. Happy Computer keeps reminding us that none of this is real, he's also dead set on one thing. Everyone is dead. This kind of clashes with what the devs have been saying about who's dead and who's still kicking. I mean, how can everyone be dead if, well, they're not? When Mr. Happy Computer says everyone, who's he even talking about? Maybe just the actual dead ones? Or the ones who turned into monsters? Or maybe even those who became killers? But even then, we still have survivors. Some injured, some completely fine. So what's the deal here? And don't even get me started on the whole hallucination and dream theory. What about the vibe of the place? And Black, he could have cast some sort of curse. He's a demon after all. Okay, sure, his demon powers aren't exactly confirmed yet, but there are hints. And then there's our blue cultist. Why mention he's a cultist if he wasn't summoning something nasty? Like, seriously, this guy just conveniently shows up with demon-y vibes? Coincidence? I think not. Maybe Black's the one turning the Sprunks into monsters and killers. But where does that leave Gray, the main guy in the horror version? Or Simon, the star of the bright version? Right now, it's all a big mystery. Hopefully, as we keep diving into this weird swamp of lore, the devs will drop more hints and explain what's actually going on. Fingers crossed they're feeling generous with the updates. So, what do you think? Is this all a dream, hallucinations, or are we dealing with some twisted version of reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And listen, if you haven't subscribed, you can't officially claim to be a but I'll forgive you if you smash that like button and ding the broken little notification bell so you don't miss any of my future vids.